Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our July So Fun Club. We have our audience here today that's live with us at our store. They're still getting kind of settled, so you guys make yourself comfortable. Good to see everybody again. And thanks to everybody who's joining us online today. My name is Cheryl, and I am fairly new to Moore's, a longtime customer, but now work with the company, and I'm helping with our events and marketing, if you don't know who I am. And I'm going to just do a little intro with you today. We had some things that we wanted to make sure you knew about. And then I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to get onto all the good stuff that she does every month with you. So I just wanted to take a minute to remind everybody, we're currently having our 74th anniversary sale. It's ending this weekend. So if you haven't had a chance to go shopping yet, it is a wonderful time to make sure you're taking advantage of all the deals that George has prepared. And he also has some extra stuff that you can do. Of course, he never lets us down with our good deals and discounts. So we have an extra 10% off if you use the anniversary code when you check out. And we also have lots of stuff. We still have machines, accessories, hot buys, all kinds of great stuff. And if you spend $300 on accessories or notions, you'll get a free pair of scissors that are worth, these are Geiger scissors, they're very nice. They're $69. So you'll get these for free if you buy another $300 worth of notions or accessories. So again, that's during our anniversary sale. I also wanted to make you aware, we have a lot of events coming up. I know some of you aren't local to our stores, but we had one special one that I just definitely wanted to share with you because it's worth traveling for. So in October, mid-month on the 11th and the 12th, which is over a weekend, here at our Brea location, we have Stephen Wilson coming. He is the founder of Anita Good Design, and he has come up with a way to create art out of embroidery. And he's going to be here for 2 days to teach us all how to do it. And what you get is amazing. He has built these amazing books. Most of them are like 300 pages, full color. You get digital designs, you get all kinds of stuff. We're going to get full time with Stephen for the whole 2 days. We're going to have a lot of product demonstrations going on the nice machines we have. But the nice thing is if you add the second part of the class on Sunday for the master class, you get to make your own piece of art. And this is what it looks like. It's very special. So you're not going to be sewing this in class. It's going to be a kit that you'll make in class and put together. But Stephen's going to teach us how to do it. So it's called Artful Embroidery. We have all the information available on our website. So please take a look at that for more information and to sign up. We already are taking registration. We expect it to be a very full and fun event, so don't miss it. There is travel information also on that page. So if you need to come into town and stay with us, we have lots of things. Disneyland is very close. We have a wonderful, Brea is great for anybody that doesn't know Brea. There's tons of restaurants here. There's tons of shopping. We've got a huge mall right next door. So it's really a fun place to visit if you've never been. But we'd love to have you. And again, please just even talk to our stores. Anybody can help you with the information. So with that, that's all I have to share today. And I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to take you guys through So Fun Club.
Okay. Thanks, Cheryl. So much good stuff coming down the chute for all of our customers here at Moore's. So I am so excited. This month, we're going to be talking about applique as well as glitter. And as you can see in back of me, I've got lots of samples that we've made using this new product called glitter gels. It's made by ODIF. So ODIF, you may be thinking, I know them. They're the ones that make 404 and 505 and 909, as well as many other items that we use that are really cool. And this is no exception. So I want to talk a little bit about the product before I go into the samples. Now, the glitter gels will go on in a thick area, and I will be doing a demo a little bit later so you will see how easy it is to use it. But this is, a lot of our customers are saying, instead of using vinyl, you can use this and create something super special. You can paint with it. You can daub with it. You can use it for accents, and I've got lots of fun stuff to show you with that. but it's really easy to use. It comes in these wonderful little tubs, and it's kind of gelatinous, I'll call it. It's not really liquid, and it's not a solid. It's somewhere right there in between. And it comes with a paddle for you to use to pick it up and to smear it on something. Now, when I got them, I was thinking, what am I going to do with them? And I decided to show you lots of different things, and I cannot wait to show you. But I want to talk about real quick some of the really important things that you need to know when you're using glitter gels. If you have fabric, you're going to want to pre-wash your fabric to get rid of the sizing. And that way you can make sure that when you apply the glitter gels onto your fabric, you're not going to have any shifting, and it's not going to pucker and pleat and look uncomfortable and not lay right. On addition, you can use this product on wood, plastic, almost anything. As long as you can iron it, you can put this on there. So if you're a crafter, if you're a scrapbooker, and we have lots of ideas for if you're a sewer, but there's lots of applications for the glitter gels. So once you have your fabric ironed, pre-washed, and you can iron it flat, then you want to apply your glitter gels, and you're going to lay it out. And then after that, you need to let it completely dry. I let it go overnight because I was kind of nervous that it wouldn't be completely dry for when I needed to do the next step. Now, the next step that you do is you're going to take an iron, and you're going to have it on cotton setting, and you're going to iron that for 3 minutes. And that's going to completely cure it, so to speak, so that you can wash it and it'll be good to go. You don't need to seal it or anything like that afterwards. It's really cool and fun to use. So with that said, let me show you how I have gone about using it. Now, we have this product by Karen K. Buckley, and it is perfect heat-resistant template plastic. Now, with that, lots of our customers have scan and cuts. So I took a piece of that, I ran it through our scan and cut, and I had the 3 different flower shapes as well as 3 different rounds. And I always say keep these because you can find many usages for the cutout part of the scan and cut. Now, scan and cuts, this is just one more item that you're going to be able to make using those fabulous machines. And don't forget, you can always go to moores-sew.com and pick up one of those scan and cut machines. It's super easy. And like I said, all you do is pick your shapes from the scan and cut, arrange them, and then you just put it through, and like magic, it cuts those shapes for you. Now, with that, I'm going to go ahead and do a little demo. So I have my silver here, and I'm going to dip in, and I've grabbed, as you can see, just kind of a glob of it, and I'm going to use that to decorate. You're going to want to take a glue stick, and I'm using the 505 ODIF glue, and I'm going to add it all the way around that flower shape, and then I'm going to secure that down by pressing around. Can everyone see on the camera? Okay, so on the camera, you can see now that it's flat down there. And I have the glob of the glitter gel, and you're going to take it. And it kind of reminds me I don't know if any of you have done drywalling or if you fixed a hole in your house, but it's kind of that same idea. You grab it and then you slide it. Now, the reason that the glue is there is to make sure that you don't go backwards and have it go underneath the stencil. And then I kind of just smear it around to the consistency and making sure that it's nice and pretty all over. And ladies and gentlemen, that's as difficult as it is for this particular application. Let me put the lid on, and then what you're going to do, and I have one that I have going around the audience here. You can see this is with the blue. And same flower shape, and all I did was add it on there, but this was dried. I actually did it at our store yesterday. So I'm going to hold this up. You can see that it's on there, and then I'm going to pull away our stencil, and there you go. That's how easy it is. Now it's going to sit aside and dry completely, and then you can iron it. And once again, the magic happens when you have your iron, cotton setting, 3 minutes, and it will cure everything and make it so that you can wash it down the road. Now, you may be saying, I don't have a scan and cut, but we can help you with that once again by going to moors-sew.com. But say there's a design that you don't have, or you're trying to match something, a shape that you have. You can use this wonderful plastic, and you can cut your own shapes and use it that way as well. So the plastic just makes it a little bit easier to use. And I want you to take notice of this one back here. So you can see these shapes were pulled from the fabric right here so that we had the shapes. And then look how fabulous that looks. Taking 1 or 2 different colors and layering them on top of each other, you get that migration of the color, and it's just so pretty. So once again, we took the designs from the actual fabric, made these shapes, and it just looks fabulous. So you can make fabric, you can accent things, so much you can do with glitter gels. Now, one of the other things that we had done with them, if you notice here, we took our sewing machine and we stitched out Trick or Treat. And with that, we went ahead and with a paintbrush, we colored in the Trick or Treat parts, and that way we have that all nice and pretty and jazzed up, and it was super easy to do. I will say you're going to want a fine point paintbrush for getting into those little areas, but it's just like painting, you know, anything else, because you have it stitched out on your machine, the actual design. It's kind of like painting with numbers, but painting with thread, I'll call it. Yes, we have a question in the audience. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can wash these, so you can use them on your shirt. So the question out there in the audience was, once that you use the glitter gels and you let them dry and you iron them, are you able to wash them? And you are. Now, you're not going to be able to wash them at a super high temperature. I think it's at 30 degrees Celsius, but so just mild water temperature, but you are able to wash these. So they will be washable, and for if you're making it on clothing or anything else. Yes, we have other questions. I would be leery of the dryer for a little bit. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Marlene. You can accent something that you've already made. So Marlene has a very pretty applique bag out there, and she wanted to use it to add embroidered, to add some of the glitter gels on top. You can. The one restriction is, in order for it to cure, you need to be able to iron it for those 3 minutes. So you need to make sure that it's not around plastic or anything else that's going to interfere. What I do at home was I had my pressing sheets, my Teflon pressing sheets, or you can use parchment paper to put over the item, and then you're going to iron once again 3 minutes. And then, like I said, it's cured and you're good to go. There was another question. Yes. It is water soluble. Yep. So the only thing I will say, you don't want to go too long before you clean your brushes, or even the stencil. If you make a stencil, you want to make sure that it gets cleaned, because it does get hard very fast.
How about embroidering on top of it?
You can. I've stitched on top of it. I'm assuming embroidery would be just the same. Yes.
It won't gum up the needle?
No, it's not a gummy consistency, and you'll see when it's being passed around on the sample that it's not gummy at all. It's kind of a hard consistency, but not hard where you can't sew through it. So it's pliable enough where your machine needles will go through. Yes.
Will it be a dry iron or steam?
No steam, no steam. Cotton setting, no steam, dry iron, correct. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple other things that I've made. So you'll see this one here. I did some free motion and I designed the dog. I did do applique because it's an applique month as well. as far as the dog. And then I added the tree, and I used the backside of my paintbrush where the handle part, and I used it just to daub the colors up here in the tree. So just a tiny little accent, and you get a big pop of color. And another thing that I did, this item here, I did some free motion on the dragonfly and the flower. And then I added with a larger paintbrush all the different colors on there. And I'll tell you a little trick that I did with it as well. So if you notice around the edges, there's a little bit of glitter. So in my little jar that I had for cleaning my paintbrushes, I noticed how pretty it was after I was cleaning my brushes. So I used it to apply some of the glitter around the edges. And then I used the jacquard textile medium to secure that so that it won't go away. So we have this on the tables also, ladies, jacquard textile medium, and that will secure it on there. But I just love, I mean, look how shiny and shimmery this is. You can do some pretty fun and amazing things with it. So we have those three things, but I want to talk about the other items behind me. So right here, you'll see that I've taken my stencil. I've done one pink flower on each of the corners, and then I let it dry. I ironed it with the cotton setting to secure that, and then I added another layer. I added gold for the flower center, repeated that process, and then I added the orange. So there's 3 layers on this. It's not super thick. You can see it's totally pliable. And then when I ironed it all together, it kind of just makes it smash, and it makes it not all rigid, because when I had the 3 different layers at the same time on that one, it was kind of higher in the center because there were layers. But now it's kind of smashed down, it's all adhered together, and it is soft. It's not hard or rough at all to the touch. And I just love the way the color looks. And then I simply stitched around, and I added some kind of loose free motion to finish that up. But I just love the way it looks. And look at the sparkle and the shimmer. It's so much fun. So one of the other things that I did, and we have another question out in the audience.
The 3 colors or any the colors that you put together, do they blend then? Do they mix together so they get a...
So the question was, do the colors mix? They don't mix because, remember, I let it dry. I let it dry in between the color applications. And you'll do that the same on this one here. You're going to want to make sure that you let it dry a little. But on this one, you can kind of play with them together. If you can see, there's the migration through. So there's, you're only limited by your own creativity is basically what it is. But in order to add on what I did on those flowers, Marlene, I did let them dry completely before I added the second one. Mostly because if I was to put the template on top of a wet one, it's not going to work. It's going to get all sticky and gunky. So you want to have it secured. And then I want to talk one more time about another sample that I made. So this is just a free motion hummingbird that I put together. I stitched him out, and then I used my colored pencils and my oil pastels that I've had for years, and I colored in sections of him. And then with that, I took my clear and my green, and also I used a little bit of blue. I mixed them up so it's more translucent. If you will see on this one here, it's a pretty solid color. It's not like you can see through these glitter gels. They are a solid color. But I wanted it to have a little bit of translucency. So that's why I mixed the 2 colors together. And then I painted on top. And that's how I got that wonderful shimmer of that hummingbird. And as you know, you can look at a hummingbird one direction and another direction, and you're only going to see the sparkle and the shimmer in one direction. So I love the way he looks, where it's just a few of them are there. And then I simply added some other accents to finish out that sample. So I know you've got probably more questions, and you're already thinking what you're going to do with this wonderful glitter gels. And I'm telling you, look at all the colors we have. We have 14 different colors for you today. And 14 different options for what you want to do. And the funny thing that I'll share with you, the first thing that I thought about doing was using this white one as like flocking on a Christmas tree on a panel or something. And that's the one sample that we don't have. But like I said, when you think about it, there's so much that you can do with these, and the ease and the versatility you're going to have a lot of fun with. I can't wait for you to try these wonderful glitter gels. And don't forget, if you have the need for the stencils, you're going to want to pick up the perfectly plastic templates so that you can make your own templates and make your own designs. So with that said, let me move on over to our applique section. So before I get going with that, I want to remind everyone for our show and tell out there virtually and here in our store, we do have a drawing. So when you have your show and tell, we're going to be drawing a name, and one of you will win in the store this wonderful Madeira potpourri thread set. There's lots of threads in here and lots of beautiful colors. It's valued at about $45, and we also have one for our online customers as well. And don't forget, our website is moors-sew.com for any and all of your sewing needs. So the next part that I want to talk about is applique. Now with applique, it's one of my favorite things to do. Now I do regular applique, old school. I love to do machine embroidery applique. But what I have for you today might be what some of you are thinking is it's a cheater way of doing applique. So I brought in several items, and they are all pre-die cutted with fabric with the adhesive already on there, so that all you have to do is lay them out on whatever item that you're working on, and you'll have something fabulous. So we have two different sewing machines. We have a large and a small, and the large one is 15 inches and the small one measures 8 inches. And I brought in 3 different colors. So we have orange, green, and pink. And like I said, the fabrics on here are fabulous. They mostly have K facette and a little bit of other fabrics to make it bright and wonderful. But let me show you some of the things that we've made with them. So the first thing, this is for my sewing room, and it says Michelle's Sewing Room. You can see the sewing machine. It's pretty large, 15 inches. And I basically took all the pieces out, laid them out, ironed them down, and then you can stitch around them whatever way you want. On this particular one, I did free motion in pink thread, but that wasn't enough for me. I took a radiance machine, and I used the built-in editing features, and you can see that I added my name with individual letters and applique as well. And then I added sewing room. And then just to finish it off, I added all the other accents with traditional piecing or quilting. And one more thing that I want to share. Have you ever done corners on the backside of something to hang it? And then all you use is a yardstick, cut it to size, and that way you have something that's going to hold it up and keep it firm. So a little tip there. So this is the first item, and this is our large sewing machine, and it is the pink color. Now I'm going to show you just to show the difference in size. So this is the large and this is the small. Now on the small one here, I just put it on this cute little zip bag. You can see it's completely functional. I added a wonderful little tab. I love those for if you want to hold it. And on this one, I did a blanket stitch. I used some of my stitches on my machine and did a blanket stitch to secure that down, and added some additional fabrics and added my name on the back. So super fun and easy, and just a really great gift for one of your sewing friends, or if you're like me, just something you can hold some of your sewing notions in. So that's the large and the small pink. The next item I'm going to show you is our small orange. Now this I had so much fun with. So I took a sweatshirt that I had, and I added the orange one on the breast part here. It's super cute, super easy to do, but I also added additional features. So you'll see on the hood on the inside, I added some more of my K facade fabrics so that it has that accent of color. And then I also did the pockets the same way. And it was super easy to do. And it's one of those things to jazz up a boring looking sweatshirt, or maybe you have a sweatshirt that has a stain you want to cover. That works too. We all have stains out there. But what I did was I took out the seam on this part and on this part of the pocket. I grabbed my fabric, cut it up, and then I folded the edges under, and then I did a securing stitch around, and then I restitched it down. So it wasn't difficult to do. It didn't take me a whole lot of time. It took more planning picking what fabric I was going to use on it than anything else. And then let me show you the hood part. That one's a little bit more complicated, but totally doable. So I took my hood for my sweatshirt, laid it down in half, put my fabric down, traced around, sewed those pieces after I cut them. And that way, when you sew them together, you have the same shape of the hood. So I didn't have to have a pattern for the hood. I made my own pattern. And then the same way I did as the other one, folded under those edges to add that accent of color. And then I did do stitching on the inside part there. And I did several lines of stitching on the outside to give it a little bit more accent. I love this sweatshirt. And it's been sitting, I had to put it aside because I wanted it nice and fresh for you guys, but I can't wait to wear it. And it was just a fun little item to do with. And once again, it all started with the sewing machine. Super easy to use. All of these pieces, I didn't have to cut. I didn't have to add any adhesive to it. All I had to do was lay them out and iron them down. Fun, fun, fun. And let me show you what else we have. So this one, we have a little bag. This is just one of those bags that you add the seam and finish it up. And let me tell you, it is so funny. And all of you can relate. Around the sewing machine that was filled in with blanket stitch, it says, yes, I really do need all these sewing machines. And I know you guys can create. You can totally relate to that. So much fun. So that's what we have with the small green. And then look, let's make a t-shirt. This is the large orange. Super sweet on your t-shirt. Notice the fun button accents on there. I just love it. And then the last thing that I have for the sewing machines is I wanted to make a project bag. So it was one of those things where I had to like shut myself down and say, okay, just finish it, Michelle. So I did the machine up front. I added all the wonderful colors. We have a little flange here. I even used some of those unloved stitches that we all have on our machines that we don't use that much. I used one of those to add some stitching accents across it. And then I did free motion as well as using the large size. If you're not good with free motion, you can literally use your straight stitch and just be very slow in stitching around it. So you don't have to do free motion. You can use just a straight stitch. I added a zipper, and then it's got a pocket on the inside, a mesh pocket, so that I can divide things. And here's the fun thing. On the back side, I use this vinyl, and I have underneath, I have free motion, some flowers, so you get to put a pattern or something in there that you can see. And I just love it. And it all started, once again, from that sewing machine. Yes?
Why is your handle so short?
The handles are short because I had the zippers. So I needed to make sure that the zippers had the opening and the machine in front. So that's what made the handles a little short. And I used to have an art caddy that I had to carry, and it had short handles as well. So it just seemed to work. And no, this one you have to hold kind of like a briefcase. Yep. Yep. And when we go sewing and we have our stuff in there, sometimes these are really heavy. So a little bit easier to hold and work with. But once again, super easy. These pieces. You just lay them out, iron them down, stitch around, and you're good to go. And once again, we have the large size, which is 15 inches in pink, green, and orange. We have the small size in those same colors that are 8 inches. So you're going to have a lot of fun creating with those. Now we also have, if you notice the quilt in back of me, let me get out of the way. So we have a turkey and we have some pumpkins. So let me talk about the pumpkins first. I'm going to plop over to this side. So these are from the whole kit and caboodle, and it's got 2 pumpkins. It comes with the little mouse. Isn't he cute? And it has all of these different items, once again, all pre-die cut, ready to go, fabrics. You don't have to spend hours picking what fabrics you're going to use. All you have to do is grab your base fabric, lay them out, iron them, and you're good to go. So we have the pumpkins, and then they're sold separately, but I couldn't help myself. I thought the pumpkins and the turkey had to go together, so I used the turkey as well, and he has all his wonderful bits and pieces here. And I didn't even notice until yesterday, I forgot to put his little eyeballs on. So, but the eyeballs come in the kit as well. You're gonna get these little itty bitty eyeballs. So he has eyeballs, maybe as of tonight, but all the fabrics, everything in there is all ready to go. So the turkey is separate, and then we also have the pumpkins. You don't have to do them together. Lots of fun and lots of things that you can do with it. And once again, I just did a border to make it look like a fall scene, and then blues around. So a lot of fun and a lot of options that we have for you today. So don't forget our glitter gels with all that sparkly fun stuff, as well as our applique. Any questions? Yes? No, the borders is something that I made up, yeah.
Oh.
Sorry. Okay, any other questions?
Did you say the turkey was separate?
Yes, the turkey is sold separately as one item, and then we have the 2 pumpkins come in the same kit with the flower and the mouse. Yep. And they're from the whole country caboodle, one of the items that we've shown many times, and they're so much fun. So many things that you can do with them. Okay, so let's dive into show and tell. Oh, yes, yes. Uh-huh. They're in like a little, they're not chalky, but they're not wet. So it's just like a little, yeah. Yeah, they worked fine. I had no problems, yeah. So some of the different colors here, like the reds here are with the oil pastels. A lot of the greens are just with the colored pencils, but you can use either or.
So even though you might not have exactly the right color in the glitter, you can add your color with your...
Yes, yes. And that's why you get that wonderful shimmer and shine. Yeah. So many different colors. Like I said, there's 14 colors of this glitter gel, so you can get really creative with lots of different things. You're welcome. Okay, so for show and tell this month, I was very, very busy, and I didn't have a lot of time on the weekends for, lots of different reasons, but I have a baby shower this Saturday, and I talked to my girlfriend. She's going to be the grandmother of this baby, and I said, okay, what's the theme? And she goes, neutral. And I'm like, neutral? I'm like, I've never heard of neutral. And I said, so neutral animals? And she goes, no animals, no flowers. It's a girl, neutral. And so I went shopping for fabric, and I could not help myself. This is about as neutral as I could get. So I added pink, and there's little butterflies and rainbows and flowers in there that you kind of hit or miss. But it literally, I love it. It's a Bargello. It was super easy to put together, and I can't wait for the little baby to be on it. But this is about as neutral as I get. I could not imagine having something more drab. I just think of babies as bright, fun colors. So that's my neutral baby quilt.
Cheers
Yes. So let's get show and tell. Come on in, Cheryl.
We're going to start with
So we're going to have Karen start first, and we're going to have them come right in between us, and Cheryl will have the mic.
Alrighty. Well, I've been busy with baby blankets also,
Ah,
and this is a Nita Good design.
oh, I love this design.
And I did it with the fabrics are all touchable. They're all fuzzy.
Oh, that's
So-
sweet.
That's adorable.
I've got that one.
Yeah, that's not neutral. No.
No, this is for a grandson in the future.
Ah,
Planning ahead.
yes.
Can I set
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
that? Okay. And then this
Karen
one-
brought a lot of items today.
Just 3. Okay, this one's from that same Anita
Yes.
Good design, but this one's embroidered. And so
Very
that's
pretty.
another one.
I'll hold that one. Oh, you got it, Cheryl?
And then I made this for my doctor. He's having his first little girl.
Oh,
That's precious.
Sunbonnet Sue.
Went to Arizona, fabulous quilt stores in Arizona. I mean, they're Phoenix area.
Mhm.
They have like 50 quilt stores.
Wow.
And I went to this one and I just fell in love with it. I was buying everything. I spent my whole wad in one place.
Wow.
So, you know,
Very nice.
it was, yeah.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, Marilyn, come on down.
Claudia's designs, I started doing the,
Hold some of them.
yeah, they are. The patriotic ones. And then instead of putting fabric on them, I put felt on the back of them.
Oh, perfect coasters.
So, yeah, they're easy to make. So you use wash away hooping. And then I started doing the snowman. And so this is my first
Oh,
snowman. So, yeah.
first of many to come.
Yeah, so they were real easy, and I can't wait to make more.
Very good. Thank you, Marilyn. Come on in, Ayana. Now you always have a Mary Poppins bag full of stuff.
Okay. We went to Costa Rica and we fell in love with the beer there. And on the back side, had the beer, Imperial. And then on the front, but my husband wanted to have a pocket, so I did the latest hoop fun design, a jean pocket, and put it on there.
Oh, nice. So you accident.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
So now he can put his cell phone.
I'll hold that.
Yeah.
Always. Always.
I
More
managed
socks.
another pair of socks. And I always do this in front of the TV because that's the only, I can't sit there with a sewing machine. But I can knit with a, no, I don't have to look at it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Have I memorized?
I couldn't do it.
And I'm going to visit my sister in Sweden. And for everybody, I'm going to make a t-shirt. So this is for my sister.
Very pretty.
Oh, you have to notice the sides. So this is a new little design that we have where you have the slits on the sides.
This is
Yes.
the OASD. And the front is Anita Good design. It's an old design.
Very nice.
So I have like 8 to go
Whoa.
When are you going?
in August.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, Marlene, come join us.
You okay?
There you go.
Okay, so I decided to make purses for gifts, and
Ah,
I got carried away. And this is an old Anita Good pattern. I think it was a one of those online ones that they had for a while.
And there was 10 different patterns. So I just
Let me hold
grabbed
some of them.
Okay, I just grabbed some. Have you ever seen a pink cheetah?
I think there's some on cartoon somewhere. Yes.
Yes. And I loved it, so I had to buy some. No design on that one.
It has
Although I
enough
made
design.
one- I made one for myself, and I put a black cat on because I have a black cat, and so I
Oh,
kept that for myself.
so sweet.
So this is just a sampling of some of the ones that were in that design. It's a wonderful design because there's 10 different.
Oh, yeah.
colors.
Did you do all 10, Marlene?
5 times over. I made about 50.
That
of
doesn't
them.
surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of friends. Huh?
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be a Christmas gift.
Yes, so
Yes,
pretty.
Yes. And then I live in a community, an apartment community, and we do gifts and everything. So
And I want you to notice, hopefully you can see, I'm going to hold it really still. She's added a little charm to the zipper pull as well.
yes,
On all of them.
Yeah.
Very nice.
made with love.
It's,
One of those.
It's a little heart.
Yeah.
It says made with love.
isn't that sweet? Love that, Marlene.
Thank
Good
you.
job, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Lenny. Welcome. Let's see what you have.
Well, I've kind of been busy, and everybody knows how the tile seams from OESD are. Well, this is one that my husband he's putting it up.
Wow.
And we're taking down a picture to put this up. And I thought, no, we're just going to, because I usually move them in and out. But,
Yeah.
But this one is dear to our hearts.
And it's Robert Kincaid, isn't
and
it?
it's Robert. Yeah. Thomas
Where did
Kincaid.
you
Thomas
find
Kincaid.
that
Thomas
brown
Kincaid.
fabric?
It's just plain
blue.
broadcloth from I do shabby
So
fabrics.
those are the stitches?
Those are
Yes.
stitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
a couple
They're
stitches in
usually
this.
a million
Yes.
stitches. So, yeah, it's a lot.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So it is, and I
And
do
a
mine
lot
a
of stabilizer,
little
too.
bit different than it says. And I love OESD Fusion Fleece, which is very, very thin. And so what I do first is that last seam that comes in the on the file. I do that 3 times at first. So I bring that in, and I can take it in software sometimes if I'm sitting and like say don't want to watch TV. I sit and do that. So I put it in once. That's a placement line. Second stitch is the tack down of the fusion fleece. Third one is the tack down of my fabric, and I cut it in a long strip. And I just use regular poly mesh in my hoop. And then I go ahead and stitch it out. And then the last seam, I do it again with the red around it so that I can sew it together. And it seems a little bit softer.
Yes, it is. It's not quite as
It's
stiff.
not as stiff.
Yeah.
And so it makes it really nice to do. So I do that with all my tile seams. And it just makes it takes up the bulk, so you don't have to use 2 pieces of the heavyweight tearaway. That takes care of it with the fusion fleece.
Very nice.
Thank you. I try to do a tile a day. Now, some of these tiles are a little more. They took 2 days. So I want to say it took me about 40 days.
Wow.
So, and my goal is 1 a day, every day. Yes. So that's
They're a
one
labor of love, but they're
Yes.
beautiful.
Oh, they are. They're just so much fun.
Let's swap this
Swap
out.
this out. This one is fun. The scan and cut you talked about, and I thought with applique and stuff like that. So what I did, this is a Riley Blake.
So sweet.
And so I took from their instruction sheet, and scanned it in my scan and cut, and cut out all my pieces with the scan and cut. And then which was really, really cool, is then I took it to my Avenir, scanned the pieces again, and then I digitized all of these in my design center. So I got them all on. Then I was all done. I thought, okay, I'm finished. Now tomorrow all I have to do is put the backing on, the binding on. And my husband goes, really?
You need a jar.
You need the jar lid has to have the little things in it and all that. So then I went, and I said, I'm not going to sew all of those. And I thought, blanket stitch. So I did the blanket stitch. I put the lines on it. And then I thought, before I do that, I'm going to put some vinyl on it because it's a jar of lightning bugs. And so now I put vinyl on top of it. So I totally changed the whole thing.
So sweet.
And then I put a hanger on the back. So this is my August for Riley Blake.
Very nice.
Using the scan and cut and the Avenir.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And all your creativity as well.
Great job.
Come on in, Karen. want me to hold something?
Okay.
Okay.
In June, Oh My Crafty released this collection, the sewing room. So I thought it was really cute.
Oh, very sweet.
And I had all these fabrics in my stash, so why not use them?
It was a free thing then.
Close enough.
Yes.
So that's Oh My Crafty. And then in February, Designs by Juju released this base pattern. So I decided, well, I could make something else from it too. So I added the stippling and the Halloween and the spiders. And thanks to Karen, I was in the store buying this fabric. She goes, well, are you going to make something for So Fun? I said, yes.
Well, I love that little gnome. He's adorable.
He's from Oh My Crafty.
Yeah.
He's
Very
cute.
sweet, Karen. Thank you for
Thank you,
sharing. Okay, Jan. How are you today?
I'm good. How are
Good.
you?
I'm doing great.
Oh, speaking of little bags, I made one
Ah,
with bees on it.
very
Just a
sweet.
little-
And it's little glittery too.
Of course, I always do glitter.
Yeah, I love that.
And this is from Diane's class, but I made a different one in her class, and I did this one by myself. So I got glitter and applique and
Ooh.
everything else on it. And then I got ambitious, and I made trivets. So I have ones with chickens
Oh,
and some other chickens.
you're ready for breakfast, it
and
looks like.
cows. There's your milk. Get
Yes.
your milk. And then one with bees. So,
Very sweet. What about your bag? You have something else?
oh yeah, I embroidered this little ballerina. And it
Very
was supposed to be
sweet.
different colors. I thought, I'm just using one color. I want it done fast.
Love that.
That's it.
Thank you.
Great job.
Okay, Linda.
So this is my 4th of July butterfly. I fell in love with the design. So I sewed it all out. It took like 2 hours. It was a long process. And then the shirt was just humongous. So I had one of these old t-shirt things from a long time ago. And then I have little doodads at the shoulders that are from a t-shirt that I got in Canada. So I stole those and thought it turned out pretty cute.
It's really nice, Linda. And this was a design from last month, so you've been very busy, yes.
It was a design from last month that I saw something you had done, and I liked it so well that I had to track it down.
Well, very good.
So,
Well, we're glad you did, Linda.
thank you.
Come on, Jane.
Okay, this is Diane Beckman's 4th of July banner.
Oh, so sweet.
But the important thing is that I did the stars and the decorative stitching here with last month's variegated thread.
Oh, yes. That's two things in a row from last month, yeah.
Right, so that's my little commercial for
There you go.
the kid thread. Also, this time,
Excuse me.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This time I put some heavy Pellon in it to make
Oh.
it. It's much
So it's
nicer,
stiff and it'll stay
stiffer.
flat, yeah.
It's stiffer, so it hangs up nicer than the other.
Very nice. Thank you. Yuki.
Okay. I'm going to share a story,
Oh.
okay, and a mission that I have. Okay, what happened was in my front yard, there is a huge plumeria tree, right? Underneath it, it's a planter, and I pick the weeds and the leaves or whatever. And then usually when I pick the weeds, I always pick every one of them, right? And I saw this small little plant that was coming out. I said, well, it doesn't look like a weed, but I'll leave it alone. So a year later, it has turned into a bush. Beautiful yellow flowers, right? And about a month ago, my kids were working on the car in front of the, in the driveway. And I was ready to go pick the weeds, right? And I saw a caliber. I said, I panicked. I thought it was, like when you have a tomato tree, a plant, and you get those
Caterpillars, yes.
caterpillar, and you
Yes.
try to get rid of it.
Yes.
Then my daughter said, there's a caterpillar there.
Oh, I
Jenny,
know what
help
it
me."
is.
And she said, Mom, she looked it up on her, of course.
Milkweed, yes.
It's milkweed.
Yes.
And she said, Mom, that's a monarch caterpillar. I said, oh my God, what am I supposed to do with it? You're supposed to save it. I said, okay. And then she also found out that they have a small chance of surviving in the wild. So we have to raise it. I said, okay, okay. So I brought it in the house, and I had this, I didn't have a cage or anything, right? So I just left it there in a little box. And she said her friend's daughter has a monarch garden, like a little, with a mesh and everything else. She let me borrow it. And I thoroughly enjoy having that. And what I found out was from my milkweed, what they eat. And what happens when I brought the leaves in, there was eggs.
Yeah, there was, I'm sure there were, because I have
And
some
it
and they're
hatched.
everywhere. Yes.
And it became more caterpillars, right? So after I finished with a couple of them that, I just said, okay, I'm going to go to the store and go buy the, and then I did that. And I returned the other, what do you call it? Butterfly garden back to the
Owner,
girl.
yeah.
And so for her, I made her this zipper bag with a butterfly and her name. This is my
Nice.
name on it.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then later I decided to make her a origami butterfly clip.
Oh, very sweet.
And this container, if you know any Japanese food, takeout,
Sushi.
they have sushi in there. And but if you look at it, you can't see it from here, but if you look inside, the pattern is so beautiful. It has a pattern from a kimono. And I didn't throw it away. So as I was making this, I said, oh my God, what am I going to put it in? I can't put it in there because it'll get squished.
Yeah, yeah.
So I kept making these. It fits 5 nicely. First I was going to make only 2. So I ended up making 5. And I kept the legs too. So I gave it to her with this and the bag. I said, thank you. Oh, she was so excited. And then she would say, when I release, she's collecting butterflies too now. And then what happens when the butterflies fly away from, egg, caterpillar, and they fly away? She said, I wear mine.
Oh, very sweet. I love that story. Thank you.
What happened? Those, if you ever decide you're going to do the protect the butterfly, make sure you have what do you call it? The milkweed plant. They eat like crazy.
They do.
Just like a locust, when they go into the field, they eat it all up. You turn around and boom, it's all gone. Oh my God, you guys are so hungry. So the other day we went to the nursery. We spent over $100.
Oh, you bought more milkweed?
2 different milkweed.
Yeah.
And then also the flowers that they like to go on.
Which color milkweed
I have
do you have?
red
Yellow?
and yellow.
Okay, yeah.
So that's
awesome.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, everyone. So now we're going to have the drawings for the virtual. And I want to congratulate Savannah Stillman. You are our lucky winner of the Madeira thread. Please contact us and we will get that shipped off to you. And I need to get to the other bunch of names for our in-store. Rhonda, I think it's over here. It's behind me. Okay. Let me grab our thread. And I'm going to have Cheryl, because I only have 2 hands. I'm going to have Cheryl come back in. Welcome, welcome again. And she gets to pull the name this time.
Okay, guys, I'm going to try.
Okay, so we have Marilyn Penix. Congratulations. You can never have too much thread. There you go. And I want to thank you all for joining us for our Sew Fun Club this month. Don't forget moors-sew.com for any and all of your sewing needs. Thank you, everyone in our studio audience. And we look forward to seeing you each and every month. Until then, happy stitching.
Thank you.